This Sunday, we're celebrating the idea of peace. And it couldn't come at a more opportune moment. Now, I don't know if you caught this in the news, but Oxford University comes out with a word for the year. And the word for the year is always a word or phrase that encapsulates how people are using language to describe culture, their experience in life, the world we live in. This year, the word is rage bait. B-A-I-T, rage bait. Anybody heard that word before? Rage bait is the idea that as you're doom scrolling, anybody know what doom scrolling is? For the rest of us who are going through the headlines or going through TikTok or Facebook looking at things, that's that one post that makes you go, oh. The whole purpose of that is to get us to move and do something and have action. And it's really become the idea of engineering our outrage. It's making us look at things that get us excited and angry so that we react to them. And we do something, whether it's buy a product or whether it's, talk about that annoying colleague that's been bothering everybody, or your annoying minister, or your, no. Sorry, that slipped. It's that trying to get that emotion in us going. The significance of it is that's what our culture is really focused on right now. This last year was this idea of rage. So the idea of peace could not come at a more important time. If you look at it from the perspective of outrage being engineered, it takes a little bit of the sting off of it for me, because I realize this is just somebody trying to get me to do something, trying to use my anger to motivate me. And being the pious minister that I am, an hour later I put the phone down and I say, okay, I gotta go meditate now. But this idea of rage bait in our culture is not new. We blame this device. Oh, it's the device's fault, or it's the internet's fault. But who created that? And who's putting all the stuff up there? Personal people. So it's not really about the device. This is just an acceleration device, the way for us to communicate at lightning speed. If we stop blaming the systems and the devices and look more at each other and ourselves, then we have something that we can work with. Then we have something that we can sink our teeth into. Rage is not new. Have anybody heard of road rage? Yes, we've all heard of road rage. And that was way before these things came out. I remember when I was a kid, our vacations were always hopping in the truck at 3 in the morning. We had an old Ford truck with a camper shell on it. We had an old boat that we pull up to one of the lakes in Central California, Bass Lake or Shaver Lake. That would be our Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day weekends. We would go camping, and there was one time when I was sitting in the car. The roads are windy and narrow, and there's one lane most of the time. This car in the back of us would start honking and beeping because we were going slower than they wanted to, apparently. My dad would eventually pull over, and the car would zoom past, and they would yell and signal holiday cheer out the window. I'm this little kid observing this, getting all, oh my gosh, and getting angry at them doing that. I looked at my dad who's driving. He did nothing. He just got back on the road and kept on going. It didn't faze him a bit. And that was my first lesson of this idea that even though the world around you is going crazy, you can still have a sense of inner peace. Now, I didn't figure out how to do that until, well, I'll let you know. But that's the point. When you're driving along and someone's all excited at you, it's not really about you. So road rage in and of itself isn't new, and it's not something that just came up. It's been happening forever, since we were human beings. What it's really doing is tapping into our pain body, as Eckhart Tolle would call it. That's the part of our human experience that is suffering, that is wounded, that is carrying along all of our tragedies in life. That's that part of the human experience that is in the shadows, that is driving us from underneath. That pain body is being activated. And the problem isn't the phone or the nameless websites. It's what I like to call our own reactive response system. That when something happens, like some annoying person or someone honking at you, we react. The goal is to learn to shift the reactive response system into a, maybe, what should we call it? An intentional response system. Because the reality is we have given over our peace to something else or someone else. We have given our power and our peace over to those experiences in our life, to those people in our life, to our own woundedness in our life. We've given our peace over to it. And everyone does it. It's not a matter of if I've ever done it before. It's more of a matter of when do I do it? Under what conditions do I do it? What causes me to get to that state where I get angry and act out of that rage? So knowing that, let's humanize that, right? That's baseline for us. Everyone is in that state at some point in time or another. And the reality is we're all trying to look for peace out there. Look for peace in our relationships. Look for peace in our colleagues. Look for peace in the world, in the countries. Look for peace out there. And until there's peace out there, I'm not going to have any peace in here. So you're carrying around all of that rage and anger. And how does that affect your life? That anger turns into resentment because we're adding stories to it. The reason I'm so angry is, oh yeah, that's a really good reason. Yeah. I'm going to join you in that. I'm going to come on board. I'm not even experience it. And another thing, right? Because we're adding stories to it, and that develops into resentment, and that is a habit on our nervous system, on our digestive system, on our bodies, and not to mention our mind and our consciousness. It puts us in that state. And so we need to turn that off. We need to turn that around, because peace is not found outside of us. Peace is not found in the doom scrolling. Peace is not found in the other person agreeing with you. Peace is not found when we stop fighting with each other, but we still are carrying the resentment. Peace is only found within us. Peace is like, here's our metaphor, peace is like the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat. The thermometer simply reacts to the temperature outside. It goes up, it goes down. It's very reactive to the situation in life. Have you ever experienced that? Your own inner thermometer of reacting to when things get hot in a conversation or when things get cold in a relationship? The thermostat is our intention to set our own temperature. We set the temperature, and then we are now in charge of our own inner peace. The author and professor Dr. David Hawkins said this in his book, Letting Go. He talked about this idea of peace, and he has what he calls the map of consciousness. Through his studies, he has looked at different ways in which we show up as human beings, and how when we are showing up from this idea of peace, that's a very higher state of consciousness. And the thing to remember here is that we all have that ability. Just like we all have the pain body, we also all have this inner peace because it is always present. So what is inner peace? What does it really look like? There's an inner quiet and light, a feeling of oneness, unity, and total freedom. The peace is imperturbable. Actions become effortless, spontaneous, harmonious, and loving in their effect. There is a shift of perception in the universe and of our relationship to it. The inner self prevails. And he uses the capital S for self. The capital S, that divine essence of who you are. Not our pain body, but that good side of you, that higher self within you. That prevails when we are living this idea of peace. Peace is actually the outcome when we align ourselves with that presence and power within us, when we take time to become intentional with our responses, our internal response system. When we align ourselves with that idea that I am here to become that peaceful experience in the world. Peace is. Everyone take a nice deep breath. Peace is always present within us. It is that divine nature that when we're in tune with it, we're experiencing peace. Take a moment to imagine, think about, if you will, that time when you were at a wonderful vacation and you felt peace. There was nothing to do. You were just hanging out, maybe on a sailboat, snorkeling, just feeling that peace. Have you ever experienced that when you're on a vacation at some point? So there's like a good chunk of us, yeah, we've had that idea, that sense of peace. And it was because we were there, right? I'm having peace because I'm on this wonderful vacation. And when we come back, it's like, oh, I need to go back. I lost my peace. Here's a true story. I was on that vacation. We were sailing with a couple of friends of ours. They're the sailors. Tim is the sailor. And Tiffany and I were with them. We were on a 40-foot catamaran sailboat. Gorgeous day. We were in the Bahamas. We went to a snorkeling ground that was just amazing. It was fantastic. We got back onto the sailboat. We started heading out. And all of a sudden, the weather changed. Anybody have the weather change in your life? Yeah, so it starts raining, and it gets a little windy. So we drop the sails. We kick in the motors. There's 2 motors in the boat, one on this side, one on that side. We're cruising along. All of a sudden, Tim says, one of the motors is out because he keeps correcting. That's okay. We're still going in. We're going to one of the islands where there's a marina, some great restaurants. We're going to make it there. The rain comes down even harder, and the wind starts to blow. Now, I don't know if you're a sailor, but a catamaran underneath the water is about 3 feet. That's as much of the boat is in the water. So there's not a whole lot of friction to keep it from moving. And there's a big cabin, even though we have the sails down, which acts like a big sail. So as the wind's coming down, Tim's like, okay, John, we're going to aim for that dock right there. We're going to get the line. We're going to try and get us on there. And as we're going in, the wind picks up and pushes us right toward the multi-million-dollar yacht. We only have one engine. It's on one side of the boat. So when you're going, the boat tends to go like this anyways when you only have one engine. We're heading to the boat, and he manages to steer us towards this giant, I don't know, what do you call it, a pylon, a giant pole sticking out of the water. He heads us towards that, and he says, I'm going to bounce off of that. I get in the front of the boat, and I'm pushing against that as we're walking down, and just to miss the multi-million-dollar boat, the wind kicks in, we go sideways and head right into the dinghy dock, right into the marina. Kind of crashed there. We got out of the boat. The water's only up to here, but the boat's still floating, pushing the boat in. Now, after that, we were there. We were settled. The guy's like, yeah, don't worry about moving the boat. There's no problem. We got in our dinghy, and we went across the quay to the restaurant. It's nice. It's crowded. It's loud. As soon as we walk in, silence. You could hear a pin drop. And everyone looking at us. And we're like, yep, we're the ones. And we didn't care because we were alive. We crash landed into a dinghy dock, and there was no damage to anybody, especially that multi-million-dollar boat. We had made it there safely. We ate dinner. We had fun. We went back out. And the next morning, another gorgeous, clear day. The people who leased us the boat came out with their big, it's like a rubber raft with a giant engine on it. They tried to take the boat off the dinghy dock and get it to just a mooring in the middle of the quay. They couldn't do it. They're swimming around in circles. They had to get the boat to push them over to it. And so we're all sitting there watching this going, yeah, see? Peace is like that. In the middle of that storm, we had no option but to focus. Peace is focus. In the middle of that storm, we had no option but to move through it and to push ourselves and make our way over there. Peace is strength. In the middle of that storm, we had to be clear on what we were going to do. We had to stay focused, or someone was going to get hurt. Peace is focus. Peace is decisiveness. It's like, we're not making it there. I'm heading over. We're going to bounce off of there. And we ran into the dinghy dock. Peace is non-judgment. When we went into the restaurant, there was inner peace. Even though the storm was all around us, we didn't have time to do any of our storytelling. We had to stay focused. When we were doing that inside, peaceful. This is what I'm here to do. This is what I need to accomplish. This is my spiritual strength. This is how I'm going to move through life. I'm going to be that peaceful presence in the eye of the storm. That is what inner peace is really like. And it's always present to us no matter what storms are happening around you, no matter what you're experiencing in life. There is a point within you that is perfect peace, that is untouched by all of the storm. When we tune into that inner peace, we are strong, confident, focused, capable, non-deterred. We are ready. We move forward with ease and grace. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk and author, once said, "Peace is present right here, right now. In ourselves and in everything that we do, the question is whether or not we are in touch with it." Peace is always present. Am I in touch with that inner peace? That divine essence that is always there. When we're moving through this holiday season, there will be times when we get stressed. There may be an event, a gathering, or something completely unexpected that pops up. In that moment is our moment of choice. Because now you all know peace is a choice. I can succumb to the stresses and the strains, or I can take a deep breath. When you exhale, that tells your body that you're safe. Most of us, when we get stressed, we stop breathing, or we're breathing very shallowly. Very little oxygen is moving to the brain. Relax. You're safe. And then focus. What is it that I need to do in this situation? Name what's happening. This is what I'm experiencing. This is what I'm feeling. It's not like we're in denial. We're just in it. And we can be that peaceful presence in whatever that situation is. So we name what it is. And then we choose. What would peace show up like in me now? How would I be? Would I be more focused? Would I be more patient, more kind, more curious? Would I stop talking and start listening? Would I pick up my mat and walk? Would I do the work that's mine to do, even though I don't want to? It's the holidays. I'd rather zone out. Will I tune into and bring that inner strength with me? Because as we do that, our mind clears. As we start to move our feet, we become focused. We draw upon that inner strength. What would peace look like in me now? The second practice, sourcing source. Source is one of the words that we use for this divine idea called the allness of life. Source. Energy is always flowing, especially when you have a second mic. Stop thinking about the inefficiencies in life. Stop thinking about the lack of energy in your battery pack. Stop thinking about what you don't have in life, and allow yourself to be present to the possibilities that are within. Start thinking about the all-sufficiency of Source that is ever present in your life, always acting, always moving, always lifting you up, even when you're feeling like you're not ready to go. That's what grace is, that upward pull of spirit that moves us forward with ease and grace. Make room for your spiritual birth within. Make room within you by letting go of all of the stories and all of the situations, of all of the experiences in life. Just let go of it all and allow that divine potential to work within you. Focus on that divine potential within you and allow that energy to flow. And as you do, peace flows over you. You are one. You are present. You are strength. You are agility, ability. It is all you when we tune into that divine essence in life. Let's move to our affirmation. I claim my inner peace. All inharmony, tension, and restlessness now melts away. I am a center of spiritual strength and confidence, and my faith propels me forward. And so it is. This poem is called Surrender. I surrender feelings of smallness and embrace a sense of allness. I surrender eagle's willfulness through acts of love and willingness. I surrender limiting attitudes and broaden my sights with gratitude. I surrender to my deepest longing to walk in peace and true belonging. I surrender to the power of grace, which prepares me for the perfect place. I feel no need to plead or plod. I am, in spirit, one with God. Let's take that into our time of meditation and affirmative prayer.